A troubled legacy. Balochistan's journey from British rule to Pakistani accession. Balochistan, a region steeped in history and tradition, carries a legacy of struggle and discontent. To understand the current conflict, we must first delve into its past. Under British rule, Balochistan was divided into three parts with varying degrees of autonomy. This fragmentation sowed the seeds of future discord. When British India gained independence in 1947, the Khan of Kalat, ruler of the largest part of Balochistan, declared independence. This assertion of sovereignty was short-lived. In 1948, Pakistan annexed Kalat, integrating it into the newly formed nation. This act of annexation, perceived as forceful by many Baloch, marked the beginning of a long and tumultuous relationship. The Baloch people, with their distinct cultural identity and aspirations for self-determination, felt marginalized within the Pakistani state. Promises of autonomy and development went largely unfulfilled, fueling resentment and resistance. This historical backdrop provides crucial context for understanding the deep-seated grievances that continue to drive the conflict today. Seeds of discord. The genesis of the Balochistan conflict. Decades of perceived injustices and unaddressed grievances fuel the Balochistan conflict. Political autonomy, economic marginalization, and human rights violations are central issues. Despite rich resources, Balochistan remains impoverished, fueling resentment. Allegations of human rights violations by Pakistani forces add to the conflict. Addressing these issues is essential for lasting peace. Geopolitical crossroads. Balochistan's strategic significance in CPEC. Balochistan's strategic location at the crossroads of South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East has made it a focal point of geopolitical interest. The region's vast coastline along the Arabian Sea provides access to vital shipping lanes, further amplifying its strategic importance. This strategic significance has been brought into sharp focus with the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure project that runs through the heart of Balochistan. CPEC, a flagship project of China's Belt and Road Initiative, aims to connect China's Xinjiang province to the Gwadar port in Balochistan. This ambitious project promises economic development and connectivity, but has also sparked controversy. The Baloch, who feel marginalized in the project, view it as a new form of exploitation. India, wary of growing Chinese influence in its backyard, views CPEC with deep suspicion. The project passes through Gilgit-Baltistan, a region claimed by both India and Pakistan, further complicating the geopolitical dynamics. The presence of foreign powers vying for influence has added another layer of complexity to the Balochistan conflict, making its resolution even more challenging. Section 4. Actors in the conflict, a complex web of players. The Balochistan conflict is not a simple two-sided affair, but rather a complex web of actors with competing interests and agendas. Understanding these actors and their motivations is crucial for navigating the intricacies of the conflict. On one side is the Pakistani state, represented by its military and civilian government. Pakistan views Balochistan as an integral part of its territory and considers separatist demands as a threat to its national unity. On the other side are Baloch nationalist groups, some advocating for complete independence and others seeking greater autonomy within Pakistan. These groups are fragmented, with varying degrees of popular support and often competing agendas, further complicating the dynamics of the conflict. Adding to the complexity are external actors like India, Afghanistan, Iran, and China, each with its own strategic interests in the region. India, wary of growing Chinese influence, has been accused by Pakistan of supporting Baloch separatists, a charge India denies. Afghanistan and Iran, both with sizable Baloch populations, have their own concerns about the conflict spilling over their borders. Section 5. The conflict today. Insurgency, military operations, and human costs. The Balochistan conflict today is characterized by a simmering insurgency, heavy militarization, and a devastating human toll. Baloch separatist groups continue to carry out attacks on Pakistani security forces and infrastructure, while the Pakistani military engages in counterinsurgency operations. This cycle of violence has resulted in widespread displacement, human rights abuses, and a pervasive climate of fear. The Baloch people are caught in the crossfire, facing restrictions on their movement, freedom of speech, and access to basic services. Enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killings, and torture have become all too common, leaving lasting scars on the social fabric of Balochistan. The conflict has also taken a heavy toll on the region's economy, hindering development and exacerbating poverty. International human rights organizations have documented widespread abuses by both sides, highlighting the urgent need for accountability and an end to impunity. The lack of justice and accountability only serves to deepen the grievances that fuel the conflict, making its resolution all the more elusive. Section 6. Regional ripples. Balochistan's impact on neighboring countries. The Balochistan conflict, while geographically confined within Pakistan's borders, casts a long shadow over the entire region. Neighboring countries, each with its own set of interests and vulnerabilities, watch the conflict with a mix of apprehension and concern. Afghanistan, with its porous border with Pakistan, has become a haven for Baloch militants, further complicating Kabul's own security challenges. Iran, home to a significant Baloch minority, fears the spread of separatist sentiment within its borders. Tehran has accused Pakistan of harboring militants involved in cross-border attacks, adding to the tensions between the two countries. India, locked in a long-standing rivalry with Pakistan, views the Balochistan conflict through the lens of its own strategic calculations. China, heavily invested in CPEC, is particularly concerned about the impact of the conflict on its flagship project. Attacks on Chinese workers and infrastructure have raised concerns about the viability of CPEC and the security of Chinese investments in Pakistan. The Balochistan conflict, therefore, presents a complex security dilemma for the entire region, with the potential to exacerbate existing tensions and undermine regional stability. Section 7. Charting a path forward. Prospects for peace and the future of CPEC. The path to peace in Balochistan is challenging but possible. Addressing political and economic marginalization is essential. Inclusive dialogue with all stakeholders is crucial. Greater autonomy and equitable resource distribution can help. Addressing human rights and demilitarizing the region are key. The future of CPEC depends on Baloch stability. Ensuring Baloch participation and security is crucial. The international community, especially China, must encourage peace. China can leverage its influence to promote an inclusive CPEC.